At home, the economy and energy crisis are on the agenda of today's Cabinet Lekgotla. The minister in the presidency, Mondli Gungubele, also says corruption in government is also a focus. My colleague, Pule Letshwiti-Jones, was in Pretoria a little bit earlier following this Cabinet Lekgotla. Welcome back, Pule. Thank you very much for joining us on today. What happened this morning?
Yeah, definitely. They're speaking about various ideas which could speak to the affecting of economic reform, but most importantly, addressing the continuous energy crisis in the country. This Lekgotla meeting, of course, headed by the president as well. But most importantly, there are other agendas topping the meeting, which speaks to the issue of the economy. You'd remember just tomorrow, Stats SA will be releasing those numbers speaking to the performance of the economy. Second quarterly stats as well.
Yeah, GDP crucial. Numbers coming out tomorrow.
And they're saying they're quite concerned about that because they speak volumes, but at the very same time, they're also speaking about the rise of the anti-immigration protests we're beginning to see in the country as well. So there are quite various, subtopics that will be discussed, robust discussions taking place during that Cabinet Lekgotla meeting this afternoon. The president has also told through the media guys, through the presidency, that he wants solid proposals from ministers heading various portfolios in the cabinet, saying that it's high time they speak to issues affecting the country as well. But maybe we can just take a listen to the soundbite where Mondli Gungubele speaks about the economy and what they're looking at currently.
Lekgotla will look at a number of issues. For instance, economic and fiscal outlook. You know that we reported in the first quarter positive indications in as far as economy is concerned, and recently positive indication as far as job creation is concerned. We are waiting with our fingers crossed. There's a release of the economic stats tomorrow. We don't know how they are going to tell the story. One of the reasons we are concerned is the fact that top economists have tightened their financial stuff in terms of interest rates because of the inflation that they are confronted with. And you know, when that happens, it has a huge impact in emerging economies. That includes South Africa. Generally, their stats, they indicate a downside performance in their economy. So we are going to look at that and how it affects us and have discussions with regard to how we adapt. That is the economic outlook, and also the fiscal outlook. How will those top economy intervention affect our fiscal framework, which is very key in terms of ensuring that we stay afloat.
Okay, and so the meeting is continuing this afternoon. Do we know for how long? Because there's so many issues to be discussed, Pule.
Yeah, agenda's very long, but quite importantly saying that we don't know what may be tabled tomorrow during the Stats SA quarterly the results will be
the GDP
released.
figures coming out tomorrow morning.
Yeah, saying that
I think normally they come around by 11 o'clock, 11:30.
Definitely, they're concerned. They're concerned. They need to come up with ways as how they can speak to challenges affecting the economy, KZN floods, COVID-19, amongst other issues. So definitely the meeting will carry on until the late hours of today. And hopefully, if they don't finish the discussions, they could just finish in the wee hours of the morning as well.
Okay, so we're going to let you go now to go back to Pretoria. That's Pule Letshwiti-Jones, my colleague here covering that Cabinet Lekgotla, and he's going to be heading back to Pretoria as they continue. The Cabinet continues to meet this afternoon. A number of key issues, energy issues, economy issues, and otherwise. And Pule making the very good point that tomorrow we are expecting the latest GDP numbers up to June this year. They'll tell a story. Of course, numbers are numbers, but they tell a story. And I wonder what kind of story they'll be telling us tomorrow.